Hi everybody, this is Blossom. For today I have something a little bit different for the Ogham series, and as you can see here I created my own oracle deck, and I had to call it something, so Wisdom of the Trees by Blossom Faye. I didn't check the name, I checked it later, but it's more of a personal deck, so it doesn't matter. So I had no intention to sell these decks. I still don't, but when I posted it on Instagram, some people asked me about that. I think if there would be like a huge interest now, but really like a huge interest, I would consider it, maybe to sell it, but you need a certain amount of decks so that you can have a good price for it. Now for 25 cards I still paid like something around 30 euros, so that maybe too expensive. Even if I would sell it for the exact price, maybe it's still too expensive for only 25 cards. So actually no intention to sell it. But like I say, unless there would be like a huge amount of people who would like one, then I would consider it. But then I still have to check out, better options. However, so when I've created these images, again, there was no intention in turning them into cards actually. So when I was writing each of the different trees for my homepage and for my videos, when I was writing about them, every time I was done with writing, I thought, you need to bring that energy into an image. I really I wanted to have something visual for that, other than just the Ogham stave. And so I just did create those images on my computer while I was, I was just done writing, and then I opened my program and just did it. So my main idea to show you this deck is actually to show you how easy it is to make your own cards if you are inclined to do so. So I use the program GIMP. For those who don't know this program, it's kind of like a free Photoshop, and you can use all the brushes you can get for Photoshop. You can also use in GIMP. There are a lot of free brushes. I used everything free, so I didn't pay anything. I used the free GIMP program, the free brushes, to create this deck. And in this deck is now my own voice, my own understanding of the Ogham, and I actually really love it. It's some of those things, normally I'm super self-critical, but with this deck I'm very pleased. So it is quite easy, and as you see, my main focus is definitely on the sigil, or the view itself, the sign for it itself, and the rest is color. And it can still, especially for beginners, it may be very helpful to, if you just have the staves like here, then it's helpful to see what is it, what's the name of it. Yeah, and also because what did I want to say here? Yeah, exactly, because now that I start to do readings, I still have to add that to my homepage with the Ogham. It's maybe more, you can see it more clearly when you have the cards than just the staves on camera or in pictures, because some of them, now all of them do, but some of them you cannot see because they are turned like that, and then you need something to hold on. So again, when I did the staves, it was not my first idea, okay, it has to look neat in a picture, but I just wanted to make them for myself and for my own reading, so it didn't matter how perfect they are. Alright, so I think I talked enough. Let's just have a look at the cards, shall we? Okay, so here's the first card, the birch, and I had to move in now because the lighting outside is not great, but it's not great in here, and I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit sad, but because you can't see probably the bright colors that I use and all the differences, so that's a bit sad. However, let's try it. So here's the birch, and here you can see that I used the color white with touches of gray, so it resembles the bark of the birch tree. So in the image you can also see a bit of shimmering. I don't know if you can. Let's bring that, you know, a bit of the kind of glitter. And this I wanted to have like a representation of stars to represent a purity and knowing that the motivation for a new beginning comes from a pure place. And you may also see the leaf pattern here. So this is a birch leaf. And I have them, you know, it's worked in a little bit, very subtle, you know. So this is the first card. Whoopsie. Then comes Rowan. Now, and this is really frustrating. Let's just try something. And again, and again. So that second that you see, it's quite, so that's how it is. That's how it looks more like. So, okay, so we have that bright red to represent that, that fiery warrior energy from this tree. The pattern in the middle, that it's so important to me now, and you can't see it properly, shall represent the quickening aspect of the Rowan, but it can also draw you in a bit deeper to encourage you to look deeper and to explore your magical abilities. Rowan can also represent danger, but at the same time it assures you that you are protected as long as you use your common sense. So that's what I was thinking when I did create this one. Then we have fern, or the alder. And the color here is red again, but I also want to represent its connection with water and, you know, the roots deep in the water, as the alder often grows near riverbanks. Then at the top we also have that cloudy thing here, but behind we see the light, so it reminds us that the alder can help us moving forward and encourage strength and endurance and the ability to clear the way ahead, you know, to clear that out. And the two opposites of the red color, which show strength and warriorhood, and the blue water also helps us to understand when to use the shield and when to use the sword. A need for balance is indicated here in this card. I love how it turns out. And you know, I'm gonna say that about the cards, and it's weird to do that, you know, to compliment your own cards. Normally, like I said, I'm very critical with everything I do, but I really love it because it's exactly what I wanted. How often that happens that you get a deck which every card is exactly what you want. So that's the advantage of making your own deck. So that's why I encourage you to do that as well. So sorry about rambling. So here we have the willow. Ah, nice willow. I just bring it a bit, yeah, the colors here and there. You see the triple moon and the background. So I used very soft colors, and you also see the water to represent emotions and the intuitive realm of our nature, as with the moon here to represent that moon connection that willow has. And willow also suggests to come in tune with feelings and dreams, so very dreamlike. And also willow also represents the other world and how we connect with it through the tree itself. It is also a very feminine energy, hence the soft colors that I use to represent it. Then we come to the ash tree. So for the ash, I wanted to represent earth and sky, and in the middle, the force that links it together. Ash suggests to combine different energies, or also the ability to combine your energy with someone else's. It encourages the solar energies, and it also encourages you to be fully yourself. That's why I wanted that sense of explosion in the middle, to show you that you are not too much. You cannot be too much. You need to explode somehow, but that you can express yourself freely. Ash may also be understood as being akin to the lightning flash, the point of union between the mortals and the gods. So that's why I did that. Then we come to Hawthorn. And in the Hawthorn card you can see all the spiky thorns that surround the image here, and the heart in the middle. This shows its dual nature. Hawthorn can indicate challenges, but they can be both negative and positive. And I really love the phrase here by Dano Forrest, who says about the hawthorn, "It may question your worthiness, and even if you fail, you will be nearer your goal than before." I love that. So it also encourages to consider your boundaries and remember to respect the boundaries of others in equal measure. Hawthorn also reminds us to understand that no matter how thorny a problem may be, you can use your spiritual strength to protect and guide you. So we have the protection around here with the thorns. And then we come to oak. So the oak is often connected with horn gods, so I used antlers here and here. But oak is also a gate, a door, so the golden light represents this gate, an opportunity that is given to you at this time. Oak can lead you to discoveries you may never have realized existed. And then oak also represents strength and growth over a long period of time. And then we have the holly. So that's much more, more green. No, it doesn't show really. However, holly is fiery in nature, and it wood burns very hot, so you can see that in the card. At the bottom you see those shadow hands, something, trying to grab the fire. This represents that we will have the energy to make it through and bring illumination to our darkness, a need to work through our shadows. So holly invites the raising of eternal energy to endure through difficulties and melt through the snows of winters in the soul's life. Then we have the hazel. So the hazel represents divine inspiration, and so you can see that I use the Arwen symbol together with the symbol here from the hazel. I also want to represent the water where the sacred salmon of wisdom dwells here, and also use that more orange color that you can maybe see, to represent the salmon. It suggests a time of creative energy and inspiration, and by living in connection with our own souls, our inner and outer lives become gradually aligned. That's, yeah. Then we have the apple. So I try to bring that closer so you may pick up the colors a bit better. That's more how it looks. It's a bit more greeny. Let's try. Here I use again very soft colors. So the apple trees is associated with Avalon, but it is also said that unicorns dwell under apple trees. This explains my choice of colors here. It looks in real, it looks like really unicorny. It may also suggest that now is a time for healing, and that is exactly what Avalon means to me, a time to heal, to retreat a bit. And as you may see that in the bubble in the card, but here's the bubble again. Apple also aids us in the quest for wholeness, which can again be the bubble. Kindness to the self and others, as well as generosity and compassion, are timeless heal-alls that lead the soul to wisdom. That's what we say about the apple. Then we come to the blackberry. I associate the blackberry strongly with fairies and the golden shimmer you see here, especially there, is actually fairy wings. So this is a brush I used in in the GIMP program, but I use it, you know, in a more subtle way. Blackberry can indicate a lessening of burdens and may also suggest that now is the time to relax and enjoy the results of what you may have recently been working on. It also can represent a fruitful harvest. Then we come to the ivy. The ivy's color associated is apparently sky blue, so I use that in the card. And I'll also use the ivy leaves themselves around here. And very subtle in the background, you can see a web. Let's bring it. Here you see the web. There. It's quite cool. I like it. Let's focus. Yes. So the web that binds everything together, and you can also see the moon again to represent that feminine, the female nature of this plant, and also the association with the goddess Arianrod. And ivy reminds us to engage in groups and not to isolate ourselves, so to be an active part in that web. And then we come to nettle or fern. So mostly this is broom or reed, that's the other one. And here I use that dark green of the fern, and the bottom you see it becomes darker, but you also see a small light here that represents secrets that may have been revealed or hidden treasures, something magical perhaps, like the seeds of the fern themselves were so magical. Fern can also suggest that you find order in chaos, and it encourages you to think outside of the box. It also provides shelter so that you can regenerate undisturbed, safe in the knowledge that the sacred spirits of nature are watching over you. So that's all that is in that card, and I just got this card in a reading. Well, actually my husband did a reading for me, and he got this card, and he didn't know anything about it, but he quite understood quite quickly what his card was about. I really liked that. Then we have the blackthorn. So blackthorn can mean that something may happen that you cannot avoid, an action of fate. However, for me personally, it also often came up to remind me that it's time to work with the underworld, and maybe even underworld deities. So that's why I chose to have a stag in the background. So, but this is just a personal approach. So in the middle we have a kind of a wheel that may indicate a turning point, but also represents an eye. The eyes you need to open to recognize your own spiritual strengths. And if we accept fate and adversity as a challenge and making it work for us, this can result in unexpected sweetness in your life. So when we face up to our own negativity, blackthorn guides us through the darker parts of our personality. And then we have the alder. So the alder is another tree that I strongly associate with the fairies. And on the bottom you see fairy wings again, but they can also look like some kind of a flower vessel. You know, when you turn it, you know, it's fairy wings. Sorry, it's not focused. And like that. Yay! So alder advises you to take hold of inspiration and to let go of the things in life that have been holding you back, and to enjoy life. Otherwise, it could also indicate that a sacrifice must be made to gain in the long term. And again, here I used very soft colors because I was actually thinking, while I was doing that, I was thinking about the alder flowers a bit more, and so I brought more that softness in it. And because I work, alder is also such an important part when I work with fairy. Now, the next card, the pine or fir. So the color of the fir or pine is light blue, as you see. And in the background you can see trees from different perspectives. Let's bring that a bit closer. So you can see that maybe. There we go. And this, so those different perspectives indicates that you need a new angle to see things. It also advises to approach the issue with a calm viewpoint. That's why the soft color blue is good, and here that the water as well. You can also see the wings above here again. I love to use wings. So here my card, it represents to fly higher, so to say, to bring some distance between you and the issue at hand. Pine can also indicate journey to a faraway place where you can maybe fly. And although the journey may also be just symbolic in nature, a spiritual journey and the growth of the soul. So that's flying as well for me. Then we have the gorse. So here you can see the bright yellow color of the gorse, and also its fiery nature represented by the flames here. You can also see that focus point in the middle, as gorse advises us to stay focused and to continue towards our goal. Gorse is also a reminder to stay optimistic, but the yellow color can also symbolize the mind, and so the gorse also tells you to pay attention to an overactive mind, or it can also warn you of the potential for life force to burn out of control. So I missed one card, sorry about that. Now I had to add it. So here you can see Ur or heather. So heather is also a plant that I strongly associate with fairies. Well, it is in general strongly associated with fairies. And so you can see very subtle the fairy wings again here. Well, not so subtle maybe, but they are like whoosh, you know, whoosh. It is also, if you know of healing, it advises us to trust our luck. We should know that the gate, here you definitely see a gate. Let's bring that a bit closer. But you know, I just have many layers in it. So the gate for new opportunity is open, and that spirit, represented here on top, that's for me the spirit, is there to help and guide us. Heather can also present sexual energy, just as the gorse before, actually. So Heather represents luck and an entry point to the inner worlds. I love how that one turned out. So it looks a bit, it looks more like that. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So here we have the aspen, and as I didn't have to, you know, at the point where I created it, I didn't think of ever selling it, so I used here a shield in the background, and this one is from Skyrim. So I think I should, if I ever sell it, I have to redo it probably. Yeah, so aspen indicates that now is a time to conquer your fears and to get to know thyself by again dealing with your shadow. But it also reminds you, while you are at this challenge, you are protected by the shield at all times. Aspen was also a tree that was used for shields. So it also advises you to refuse to give into worldly pressure, but to push back with your shield, if you know what I mean. So it can also indicate that you have become imbalanced with the ebb and flow of life, either in overload, shaking and trembling with fear, or unused energy, or in a state of inner drought and stickiness where life needs stirring up and quickening once more. So that's everything you see here in the card. Then we have the yew tree. Here I kept it simple again to really bring out that glowing light that you obviously see, as yew represents the rebirth that follows death, so the rebirth after the death happened. And at the bottom we also see a book that may indicate the older sources of information. You may also ask us to enter into silence and surrender to creation with joy. It can also suggest that patience is needed, or the other way, it may suggest that we need to seize the day wholeheartedly as if it were the last. Now, for the coat or the growth. Again, the green does not come out, it doesn't look like that. Let's try to, it doesn't change if I bring it. The green is much brighter, much greener. So the color for this view is many shades of green. You may or may not see that. I also wanted to have that connection between the earth and heaven. Here is the connection, you know, that whitish, glowish light. And a sacred point or place in the middle of the image. Code is about making the connection between things or events to get a better understanding of the situation, and it also suggests that we need to gather a wide variety of information instead of just focusing on one or two aspects. And also with the code I have all different kinds of trees around, you know, to represent growth. Now, spindle. So here again, nice bright color, and then also a spindle in the background, because why not? But you can also see a repetitive pattern throughout the whole image. Let's bring that a bit closer. So yes, I see it, so you're going to see it as well. So is that pattern. Let's bring it down again. Let's make it pretty. So this pattern represents the work that you must do, those obligations, and that those obligations can be fulfilling. Spindle reminds you that you can be proud of your work and your achievements. It could also indicate that you need more patience, hence again the repetitive pattern. It takes a while to get it done. Then know that change is just around the corner, but you also must allow things to happen in their own time. It advises to focus first on your duties before you move on with other activities. So it's also a bit about discipline. Then the next card, Honeysuckle. Honeysuckle is about hidden desires and the importance to allow ourselves the freedom to pursue our desires. So here we see all the bright colors, as honeysuckle also advises us to be our true self. And I just went with something I felt at this moment while I was researching this Ogham, and that what came out without overthinking. So the colors are just, you know, it's just crazy a bit, and all the patterns in there. And I just wanted to have something that represents myself. Apparently that's me. Yeah, I didn't want to overthink that one. Honeysuckle also reminds us not to deny ourselves the chance to enjoy life as long as we stay true to our values and our beliefs. And it is also a time where we have to sort out what is truth. Now, then we come to gooseberry. So, gooseberry can indicate that it is time now to leave our comfort zone that I represented here with a bubble again. So this is our comfort zone. And here above, the gooseberry is also kind of a fairy association for me, but the comfort zone, and here's where the magic happens with the fairy wings. But it also represents clarity of vision. So out of the dark and moving up to a clear mind. The yellow in this image also represents the need to see this situation from a logical point of view and not to get muddled up in emotions. So it also indicates a time of success and abundance if we allow it to enter our lives, which can also be the color yellow, can represent gold. So that's that. And then, the last one, so beach. So the colors of the beach can be brown or orange, or brown and orange, and the first association with beach is the book, and we see that here. So here's the book, here's the magic from the book. So from the book comes that great wisdom and the echoes from the past. That are still relevant for us today. It advises us to draw upon our own past experiences and to be open to guidance from our elders. We also see the many roots at the bottom. Here are the many roots at the bottom, which represents the serpentine and snake connection with the beech tree. And this again leads to the idea that the beech has underworld connections. But we also know that the beech tree is a very magical tree, and that spells and magical work get a boost when done under a beech tree. And this is my whole deck. So, and I am very happy with it. I am very happy to have it. And I show you now shortly the back of the cards. So before I show it to you, I actually wanted to do, you know, some kind of Celtic knot work or anything. And yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was asking my husband, oh, what colors should I use for that? Should I use green? It would be the most obvious thing to use green. And he was like, what, you do that? Why don't you take a picture of Treebeard? And I was like, huh, you are so right, I have to do that. So I didn't draw this one myself, and that's why I just want to show it very quickly, because I stole it. I don't remember the artist's name now, but I will write it down here now. And I think it's such a beautiful image, and that's a reason why I could not sell it in this condition, because I stole the image. It's always, it feels a bit inappropriate to show it to you, and it feels a little bit inappropriate to do it, but I fell in love with it, with this image, and when you see it you understand me. So here it is, Treebeard in all his glory. I love that image, and again, the green is not how it should be, but it's such a beautiful, beautiful image, and that's what I chose for the deck. And also, you know, having him here, and then that going into the Ogham system to explore something, I just found it so fitting. Such a great artist. I am absolutely in love with it. So, and that's my own deck. Maybe you are inspired to do an Ogham deck yourself. As I mentioned, it's not that hard actually if you experiment a bit with GIMP and have a bit fun of it. I'm not, you know, I'm not used to do any of this work. I just tried and that's what came out. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this a bit, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm sending you much love and many blessings, and bye bye.